Hey everyone, today I want to talk to you about a book that completely shifted my perspective on relationships and honestly, on life itself. It's called Attached: The Neuroscience of Adult Attachment by Amir Levine and Rachel Heller. I picked it up because I was curious about why some relationships just click while others feel like a constant struggle. And let me tell you, this book delivered insights I never knew I needed. It's not just another self-help book, it dives into something deeply ingrained in us, a science that explains so much about how we connect or don't connect with the people we love. The core idea of attached is pretty mind-blowing. The way we behave in our adult romantic relationships is deeply influenced by patterns of attachment that actually parallel how children bond with their parents. Think about it, our earliest experiences of safety, comfort, and availability shape our attachment style, which then becomes our default setting for intimacy in adulthood. The authors, Amir Levine and Rachel Heller, don't just throw theories at you, they bring the science to life with relatable stories and practical tools, making it feel incredibly accessible and personal. So what are these attachment styles they talk about? Well, the book identifies three main ones, which are kind of like our relationship personalities. First, you have the secure attachment style. These are the people who are naturally comfortable with intimacy and generally warm and loving. They don't sweat the small stuff, communicate their needs effectively, and can truly be there for their partner. The book really makes you appreciate these secures of the world, calling them the supermates of evolution because their approach leads to such stable and satisfying relationships. Then there's the anxious attachment style. If this is you, you probably crave a lot of intimacy and closeness, often feeling preoccupied with your relationships. You might worry a lot about your partner's love or their commitment, and small things can really set off your internal alarm bells. Remember Tamara, the friend mentioned in the book? She was constantly anxious about Breck's whereabouts and became hypersensitive to anything that might imply a breakup, even avoiding friends just in case he called. That's a classic anxious response. The book describes people with an anxious style as having a super sensitive and attachment system. When that system is activated, you're just consumed with thoughts about re-establishing closeness. And finally, we have the avoiding attachment style. These individuals often equate intimacy with the loss of independence and constantly try to minimize closeness. They really value their self-sufficiency, sometimes to the point of pushing people away. The book introduces us to characters like Breck, Tamara's partner, who despite loving Tamara, felt compelled to push her away as closeness increased. It's not that avoidants don't have attachment needs, but they actively suppress them. Now you might be wondering, but where did these styles even come from? Initially, it was thought to be all about your upbringing: sensitive parents, secure kids, inconsistent parents, anxious kids, distant parents, avoidant kids. But the book clarifies that while parental care plays a role, it's also influenced by other things like our genes and life experiences. It's a whole mosaic of factors. One of the most profound insights from Attached is what they call the dependency paradox. It challenges the common belief in Western society that being independent is always best, and being needy is a weakness. The book powerfully argues that the more effectively dependent people are on one another, the more independent and daring they become. They illustrate this with the strange situation test for children, where a child with a secure base, a present and supportive parent, feels confident enough to explore the world. The same applies to adults. Having a partner who acts as your secure base allows you to thrive, take risks, and pursue your dreams. In fact, studies show that our partners actually regulate our blood pressure, heart rate, and hormone levels. We literally form one physiological unit. So, the idea of complete self-sufficiency in a close relationship, biologically, it just doesn't hold water. This book then gets into the real meat of it. What happens when these styles clash? The most common and often most painful clash is the anxious avoiding trap. This is where the anxious person tries to get closer and the avoiding person pulls away, creating a vicious cycle of exacerbating each other's insecurities. It's like they're speaking two different languages. For anxious individuals, when their attachment system gets activated by perceived threats to intimacy like a partner pulling away, They resort to activating strategies, those thoughts and feelings that compel them to seek closeness. This might lead to protest behavior, like incessantly calling, withdrawing, acting hostile, or even threatening to leave, all in an attempt to re-establish contact. It's a desperate cry for reassurance, even if it comes out in destructive ways. On the other side, avoidant individuals use decativing strategies to squelch intimacy when they feel too close. This can manifest in subtle ways, like finding small imperfections in their partner to focus on, pining after a phantom ex, saying they're not ready to commit for years, or just mentally checking out during conversations. They might also endlessly search for the one, an idealized partner who conveniently never quite materializes, thus keeping current partners at arm's length. It's an unconscious way to maintain their perceived independence. So how do you navigate all this? The book provides a powerful toolkit. One of the most important tools is effective communication. This means being direct, non-accusatory, and completely honest about your feelings and needs. If you're anxious, it means stating your needs for closeness and reassurance clearly, instead of resorting to protest behavior. If you're avoidant, it's about acknowledging your need for space and communicating that in a way that doesn't push your partner away, but rather explains your need for autonomy. The beauty of this is that your partner's response to effective communication is incredibly telling. It reveals whether they're truly concerned about your well-being. The authors also introduce the concept of smoking guns, clear signals that someone might be avoidant, like sending mixed messages or constantly disregarding your emotional well-being. This helps you rule out avoidant prospects early on if you're looking for a partner, especially if you're anxious. What if you're already in an anxious avoidant relationship? The book says that while attachment styles are stable, they are also plastic. This means they can change. Being in a relationship with a secure partner can actually make an insecure person more secure over time, even if both partners are insecure. The book encourages security priming, reminding yourself of secure experiences or role models. It's about consciously reshaping your working model, your basic belief system about relationships. In essence, Attached argues that true love, in an evolutionary sense, means peace of mind. It's not about the drama, the highs or the lows that an activated attachment system creates. It's about finding a secure base that allows you both to grow and flourish. This book is incredibly empowering because it moves beyond blaming ourselves or our partners for relationship struggles. It tells us that our attachment needs are legitimate, and we shouldn't feel ashamed for depending on the person we're closest to. It helps you stop thinking, "What's wrong with me?" and start asking, "Is this person capable of giving me what I need to be happy?" For anyone who's ever felt confused, frustrated, or deeply unhappy in love, Attached offers a clear map showing you not just what might be happening, but why, and most importantly, how you can move towards a more fulfilling, secure, and genuinely happy relationship. It really makes you realize that navigating relationships is not just about chance, it's about understanding ourselves and others on a deeper, more scientific level.